right? Because my risk reward ratio, basically allows me to absolve 3 losses with 1 winning trade. Hello everybody, my name is Thor Young. I'm a moderator at Bear Bull Traders, and I would like to do a recap for you on my trades today. Traded 2 tickers today, not all glamorous today, unfortunately. I did take 2 losses on NEO. VPA on NEO, really ugly at the open. For me personally, it read as a squeeze and a short, and then it just kept squeezing on really low volume. And I decided to stop trading it after 2 losses because I could tell I wasn't reading it well. One of the really important things to do as a trader is understand when it's time to stop trading a ticker, recognize you're not reading it well, and move on to something else. So before I get on to the trades, if you could go ahead and throw me a little thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. And then subscribe to that channel if you're so inclined. Anyway, on to the trades. So as you can see here with NEO, we have my 2 losses here. So NEO at the open, it had gapped down a little bit and it had squeezed. I expected it to squeeze back to around 39 or so, which it did on high volume, and then it threw this nice upside down hammer. What I didn't pay attention to, and hindsight being 2020, there should have been more volume in this second candle. This second candle being on light volume showed too much of a rest. Which for me means the market maker hasn't quite made a decision yet, because I don't see the engagement there. I should have just stayed away from this stock, because right now we're still squeezing, and we're squeezing on very low volume. We had a ton of volume at the open, mostly retail participation, obviously. And then after that, we've just been kind of moving around on this consolidation style, like lower volume. And it's just not getting it done. So I cut it, as you can see here, 2 losses. So started off down 2R today. I'm only can take 4R loss. So starting down 2R, big deal for me. That means I only have 2 trades left to get it in. But again, look, I would have probably tried to, I would not have ever longed this thing. So I probably would have shorted again, maybe somewhere up in here, and it just would have been a pain. So I'm glad I didn't do that. So I flipped over to Apple, and this is the reason why risk management is so vital, right? The key to risk management, for me at least, is not to ever risk any more on one trade than I can make back in another, right? Because my risk reward ratio, basically allows me to absolve 3 losses with 1 winning trade, right? So if I can lose 1-2 trades and then win a 3rd trade, that 3rd trade can, if well managed, can get me almost all the way up to goal if I manage to pull it off, right? So now if you look over to Apple, Apple was the exact opposite of NEO. It was a beautiful VPA read. You can see at the open, we had high volume here, lack of market maker participation, really low volume second candle, so I decided to wait. We continued on the lower volume, but I noticed every time we pressed towards previous day's close and this previous daily level, every time we went up there, right, we would just wick it, right? And shove down, wick it, shove down. This is a selling climax, right? These are called fireworks. If you've read Anna Cooling or Dalton or some of the older volume traders, they talk about this all the time. They call them fireworks, right? So, and you can see they call them that because you get all of these wicks that are constantly shooting up in the air and constantly getting pushed back down, constantly rejecting S1, constantly rejecting daily level, constantly rejecting PDC, right? We have a ton of daily levels over the top, right? So once we set this range high enough, it gave me kind of a spot I wanted to be. So I went short here. I gave myself a new high, and then we were off. Took a partial at low of day, which gave me just around 2-to-1. So I absolved an R there. Got a little bit moved there. I went ahead and dropped a little bit more, and then some more off here, which actually got me to break even. Maybe a little bit over break even. And then I held the lion's share of what I had left, dropped here. Now I'm down to about 10 or 15%. So I find myself actually sitting at about an R&a-half. Which, considering I was down 2R before, not bad, right? So, and this is kind of the big thing that's you really got to focus on with this, right? It's about formulating a process. You're not going to win every trade. What you have to do is make sure that your losers, when they lose, right, aren't going to be so detrimental that one good winning trade can't get you out. Part of the reason why my max loss is 4R is because once I've hit 4R loss, I really don't feel like any one trade is going to completely get me out of the hole, right? So at this point, it's really better just to take the loss and then come back tomorrow with a fresh day, fresh P&L, and a fresh outlook, right? Than it is just to continue, because that 4R loss can just as easily turn into 8R loss as it can for me getting to break even. And the whole time I'm trying to get to break even, I'm just going to rack up comms, right? So that's why it's really, really important to make sure you don't lose too much money when you lose, right? That's why I use hotkeys that auto-calculate my risk, right? That's why I use very specific partialing methods so that I can try and get as much out of each trade as I can to offset those losses. So I hope this was a valuable recap for you all. Not all glitz and glamour today, not all wins, but I don't think all wins is what you guys need all the time. So here's a couple of losses and one good win to make up for it. So I hope everyone has a great day today. November means new month, new pivots. So looking forward to earnings season still, having some pivots, and looking forward to getting some big plays as the SPY maybe does something. So hope everyone has a great day. And as always, y'all, keep it green. Thanks.